Horns up and welcome to a brand new episode of Headbangers Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a super simple and delicious chicken curry. This is something that I ate on my Indian food challenge, and if you haven't seen that video, click here on the I button and watch that. Also, my beautiful wife Deepti is going to be joining me later to taste test this recipe. Anyway, enough jibber jabber, let's get cooking. So the first thing we're going to do is prep our chicken for the recipe, and I'm going to be using chicken breast for this recipe because it's high in protein and low in fat. If you don't care about all this, I would definitely recommend using leg and thigh meat because it is way more flavorful. But anyway, you just want to cut your chicken breasts into nice bite-sized cubes. So just make sure your knife is sharpened and cut that chicken breast up and then set it aside. Now it's time to make the marinade for the chicken, and I'm going to be using about 60 grams of yogurt or dahi. To that I'm going to add some ginger and garlic paste. Then I'm going to add in some salt, some red chili powder, some turmeric powder, some coriander powder, some garam masala powder and some cumin powder. And then I'm going to give it all a good mix and get that marinade ready. And once I've done that, I'm going to put in a handful of fresh mint leaves, and then in goes our chicken. And then we're going to give it all a good mix. Now you want to let this marinate overnight if possible so that all the flavors go into the chicken meat. If you can't marinate it overnight, 30 minutes will be fine. Anyway, now to cook our curry, I'm going to get a frying pan on the stove, but you can also use a saucepan, no problem. Into the frying pan, I'm going to add a tablespoon of ghee. Once the ghee is hot, I'm going to add in some whole garam masala. So some cinnamon sticks, some cloves, some green cardamom and some black cardamom. And then I'm just going to fry those off. And you want to fry these till they start getting aromatic and your kitchen starts to smell lovely and spicy. And then we're going to add in about 100 grams of roughly chopped onions. And of course, give it all a good mix. I'm also going to season the onions with some salt at this point to bring out their sweetness and help it break down. And now begins the process of slowly cooking the onions till they turn golden brown. This process is called bhunawing. So we want to bhunaw the onions. So on a medium-low heat, you just want to cook these onions low and slow. Keep giving them a stir every now and then. And this is a process that takes some time. You gotta give these onions some TLC. Oh yeah, treat them with love, like you would your wife. And if you don't treat your wife with love, you should maybe consider getting a divorce. Hey, but I'm not one to give marriage advice. I would recommend you love your wife. That's the easiest thing. And keep cooking them. Like I said, this takes some time, and once they turn a nice rich brown, I'm going to actually add in some water now and give it all a good mix. Now what this does is it kind of breaks down the onions a little bit. It sort of spreads that caramelization across all the onions. And I'm even going to do it a second time, just because this process you can do it a few times and this really brings out the flavor of the onions. Anyway, now I'm going to add in some tomato puree. This is just store-bought puree, but it's a nice one with no added sugar. And I'm also going to throw in some water. And of course, give it all a good mix and also rinse out the can in which I got the puree. And you can also use fresh tomatoes, no problem. Anyway, I'm going to give that all a good mix, and then I'm going to cover it and let it cook for about 6 to 7 minutes. After about 6 or 7 minutes, you can see that a lovely rich gravy has been formed and it already looks so delicious. Anyway, into this we're going to add in our chicken and we're going to give it all a good mix. Now this may not look like a lot of masala or a lot of gravy at this point, but don't worry. Right now we just want to cook that chicken, which is anyway going to release some of its juices into the pan and flavor everything. So I'm just going to cover it and cook it for about 3 minutes with the lid on now. After 3 minutes, our chicken has been cooking nicely and I'm going to give it all a good mix. Now since there isn't much gravy in the pan, I'm actually going to add in some water as well, and I'm also going to season it now with some salt and mix everything together. Now because we are cooking with chicken breast, it's not going to take more than 7 to 8, maybe maximum 10 minutes for all this chicken to cook. And to check if your chicken is done, just take out a piece and cut it and look at the center. If it's nice and juicy and fully white, that means it's cooked. And my chicken is pretty much cooked. So now I'm just gonna turn off the stove, and then I'm gonna finish this with some fresh coriander. Anyway, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Our chicken curry is ready, and man oh man, does that look good, or does that look good? Anyway, I can't wait for you guys to try making this chicken curry at home, and make sure you let me know how it turns out in the comments below. Anyway, now go and enjoy your chicken curry. Hey folks, so it's time to taste the chicken curry, and as promised, here is my beautiful wife Deepti.
I was promised, was I?
Yes, I mentioned at the beginning of the video that you will be joining us for the tasting. So, shall we taste?
Yes, this looks really good.
Yeah.
So what's the USP of this one?
Nothing, it's just a chicken curry.
Sell it to me, sir.
It's a flavorful, rich, generic Indian curry, which can be used if you're doing the keto diet, or you're doing a low carb diet, or you're doing anabolic diet, or you're doing low fat,
or if you're just snacking like I am.
Yes, it's a chicken curry for all and any occasion.
I see.
All right, let's dig in.
Oh, really good.
Yeah. It's got a nice tang to it.
I mean, the way you described it, you weren't really selling it, but well, this sells itself. It's really good.
Yay!
No, look.
I think she's going for the bread.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a curry, all right. And if you like curries, you'll definitely enjoy this. And like I said, this is versatile. If you're keto, throw a big dollop of ghee on this, and it's gonna have more fat. You know, maybe use chicken thighs instead of chicken breast.
I throw a bit of cream in this actually. If you're on keto.
If you're on keto, you can throw some heavy cream in it, some coconut cream if you're dairy free. But it's a great base curry recipe from which you can further build your curries on. And if you're not keto, you can enjoy it with some bread or rice.
Like, could you put other meats in it?
Yeah, I mean, you can do this with fish, lamb, beef.
I think it'd be really nice with lamb.
Yeah. Anyway, Deepti has given the curry the horns up, and I hope you will try making this at home. And
you should.
I will see you on the next episode of Headbangers Kitchen. And if you want to see Deepti in another episode, please comment below, and I'll try and bring her on for more tastings.
An ambush.
Anyway, enough jibber jabber. We will see you on the next episode of Headbangers Kitchen. Cheers and keep cooking. Hey folks, if you enjoyed this recipe, do smash that like button and watch some more Headbangers Kitchen videos.